Welcome to episode 27 of the Wiley Wire. I'm broadcasting live from beautiful Las Vegas. I wanted the shades open. Too much bright light. Wasn't working with the lighting situation, so we have it set up this way. If it looks too dark, deal with it. Most people listen anyway without watching my mug on their video screen. But we have a lot to cover. Eric Swalwell update. We have sports segment. Are some teams coming back from the cancel culture? Redskins possibly back. I saw a spear. We have some WTF, some funny stuff we've seen, but also at the same time, pretty crazy, and a bunch of other trending news. Welcome to the Wiley Wire.
You're mad. I mean,
mad?
Yeah.
I am no longer a Democrat. I'm now a libertarian Republican. Because that's what a blue dog Democrat used to be. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's called executing, being accountable, enforcing, respect, responsibility, and results. Knowing what your job description is. Delivering results. Unifying, making this country great. The great brand we have, okay?
I was just doing my episode and I was like, I got to cover this. He resigned from the candidate for governor in California. And then a bunch of staffers, like 50 staffers resigned. Like everybody knew it was coming. He's got multiple allegations. This one girl came out and said that he raped her and choked her and put something in her drink. And, you know, I don't know what happened. I do have the remembrance of him just destroying Brett Kavanaugh when they put that fake woman up there. They paid her a bunch of money to try to discredit him so he wouldn't be a judge in the Supreme Court. And he had some comments. Everybody can look him up, but he was just like, there's too many of these women coming out. Something must be going on. And it's like, what's going on with him? So whether he did that or not, let justice do its thing. I'm not going to call the guy a rapist without, you know, I mean, it seemed to me like he is. I'm not going to stay out of that. I'm not a judge, but he's a slime ball. I can tell you that. Just looking at the guy, I know he's a slime ball. But expanding on it, as I'm thinking about this and going over it, he was a very, very adamant anti-Trump guy. And you almost, like, there's those people that they go a little too far. And there's family members I have that are just, they hate Trump. It's fine. Like, you have your own opinion. I don't know Trump either. So I don't hate a guy I don't know. I like his policies. But at the same time, like, he'd go on national television, CNN, I mean, he's on Jimmy Kimmel announcing his governor's run and all that for California. It's like he's all tied into the mainstream blob. And his anti-Trump, and him and Schiff, the same thing, just anti-Trump, like they go out of their way to get on TV to do it. Yeah, I could myself, like, even if I hated somebody really bad, I couldn't imagine going on national television like once a night or once every couple nights just trying to destroy this person. There's got to be a reason why he was doing that, especially what he was doing on the side. If he's got a bunch of girlfriends, he's all over yachts, he's, you know, mingling here, mingling there, girls on the side, you know, supposedly raped a girl. I'd probably stay off TV, let alone go to the Kavanaugh, you know, sit-down testimony and start grilling him on these fake women that were brought up there, acting like he's guilty, I would like hands off of that, right? Wouldn't you think? So it got me going down a different thought process. And maybe you've heard this, maybe you haven't, but all these people in his inner circle knew he was a creep. There's no doubt about it. And they're not guilty. So if somebody knows he's a creep, you know, they're controlled by the Democratic Party. They're not going to say anything. And I'm sure Republicans knew he was a creep too. I never heard one thing from a Republican about this guy. They were in Washington with him. No one said anything on the Republican side till now. Nobody said anything on the Democrat side till now. So I'm not trying to like take sides on this, but they knew. What it really goes down to and what really opens your eyes up about it is they use this MFer to do their dirty work. They knew they had stuff on him. They kept him in, running for California, da-da-da-da. And once he became a problem for them, gone. Pelosi's like, oh, I don't really care what he did. And all. She knew. She's in charge of everybody in the Democratic Party. She knows everything about everybody. You don't think they vet people when they get in there? You don't think they hold clout over people? You don't think that they follow people around their own party? They vote all the same every time, all of them. And you're just ousted if you don't. And you can even go over to the Republican side on that too. It's a little less hardcore, but at the same time, guys on the Republican side, women on the Republican side knew he's a creep, but they knew. And it's blown up in their face. And it's the same thing with Biden, because they knew Biden wasn't sharp as a tack. They knew all that. Everybody knew. Guy was old. I mean, geez. Guy's over 82 years old. He's not in good shape. You can totally tell. I mean, if you looked at me and said he was sharp as a tack, I'd say you're crazy. But they were saying it over and over, like mainstream media, all of them. They all knew about Swalwell. Say anything about him. Now they're like, oh, he's the devil. They knew Biden was too old. They knew Biden wasn't with it. But what happened when he went on that stage and they set him up with George Clooney and Obama? They did that on purpose. They wanted everyone to be there with George Clooney. Maybe George Clooney didn't know. I don't know. Obama knew. Maybe George Clooney was mad about it because he didn't know. Who knows? We'll never know. But they ended him that night. They pulled him off the stage. It was Grandpa on the stage. Grandpa this way, Grandpa this way. And they had to grab him, pull him off. That was it. He was over then. And they got him out so fast and dumped his ass. Well, he was trying to do a couple of speeches and they're just like, oh, turn away from this guy. We don't want anything to do with him anymore because he was a liability. Once he became a liability, he was done. Swalwell became a liability, he was done. Big time donor, Democrat donor. I'll roll the clip after this that he decided he was becoming a Republican now. Center-leaning Republican, whatever that is. That guy gave millions and millions and millions of dollars to him. And I got people coming out. Rosie O'Donnell, Clinton broke my heart. She gets it. She already knew. She knows what goes on behind the closed doors. She knows who the creeps are. 100%. She does. They're just saving face. Everybody's saving face. People that knew him, all those people. But they had something over him to make him vote a certain way, to make him go on TV, to make him say things on air over and over and over again. Probably didn't want to do it. That guy wanted to party on yachts. Obviously, that's all he wanted to do. And obviously he knew he had no rules because they probably had clout him already. So he's probably like, well, they already have clout on me. What does it matter? I'm just going to do worse shit because the guy's evil. He's a demon. And they ousted him quickly, just like that. So I'll pose the question to everybody out there. When you vote for a politician, left or right, and they line up certain things they're going to do, they're out there right now, Democrat and Republican. They line up a chart, everything they're going to do, and they don't do any of it. They do one thing and they doesn't get passed, whatever. You have to ask yourself, why didn't they do it? Because they were paid not to. They were told to run on this so you get elected, and you won't do that. We'll find a place for you. We'll keep you in. That's how it goes. It's sad. And that's why I tell people, don't go to these protests. Don't be an ant. People are pissed off. How could you tell you that? It's because they want you to go. They want the anti-ICE people to go, and they want the pro-ICE people to go, and they're just luring you in like an ant. Your ant farm's there. This ant farm's there. They don't like smart people that are like, I ain't going to that shit. People holding signs up. But a lot of it's paid people. It's fake people. And there's real people that are going there, and you're the victims. You're the victim if you go to that. And I'm not looking for anybody to message me and say, you're right, or, you were right all along. I was fooled. I don't want that. I want you to just quietly not go anymore. I want you to quietly open your eyes. Don't be an ant. Don't just watch CNN. Don't just watch Fox News. I play clips from both of them. They do cover some news that's real at times. A lot of times they don't. Most times they don't. Both sides. Or they sway your attention in a certain way. It's mind manipulation. Just quietly, just stop. Don't go. And that's a big problem because they need some real people there. They need some victims. They need people that have real emotion, because the fake people that are there, the antagonists, all those people, it depends on the protest, but they need you there. If you're not there, it doesn't work. So quietly just go away. Quietly hold your politicians accountable for what you voted for. And they played a reel on Instagram. It's the top 5 worst states for debt. They're all Democrat. Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York was in there. I think it was the second. Illinois was number 1, as the worst. It's like 1 Illinois, 2 New York, 3 New Jersey. I forgot what 4. 4 was Connecticut, and 5 was Massachusetts. These are all liberal-run states. So you have to ask yourself, why would someone want to ruin their own state and then ruin their own city? Because they were paid to do it. They weren't supposed to be there anyway. They weren't elected by the people. And if they were pushed big time by big time money outside of the country, big time billionaires to get in there and to do the dirty work. So it's coming off as a rant, but at the same time, think about how easy it would be for Brandon Johnson to say, you know what, Chicagoans, I'm going to clean up the city. I'm going to let ICE and police department do their job. I'm going to let people that do drag racing around, I'm going to revoke their license and impound their cars. I'm going to let ICE deport all the illegals that came in here that are scraping our welfare system, that makes Illinois the #1 state in debt. He'd be the most cheered mayor ever. If Pritzker did the same thing, he'd be the most cheered governor ever. Think about Joe Biden for those 4 years he was in. If he just sat back, did a couple of press conferences, didn't let all the migrants in, Trump never would have been elected again. All you Trump haters, if he would just sat back, kept the border policies, sat on the beach in New Hampshire, Delaware, wherever you had Delaware, ate ice cream cones. I'm not saying this to be an asshole, but truly just ran on whatever he wanted to run on, but he got in there, just leave the Trump policies in. He'd have been the greatest president ever. But that's not what they wanted. So last thing I want to talk about in this segment is I saw Kamala Harris back on the somewhat campaign trail. She's talking about running again. And she's bad. I mean, she can't speak in public. She's terrible when the spotlight's on her. Her laugh is just a chuckling laugh. She's not it. So they planted her in there last time, kicked Biden out, like I talked about. And it didn't work. So Trump beat her in every swing state and got the popular vote. Why is she back in? It's because there's nobody else to run in the Democratic Party. There's nobody there. Gavin Newsom is not a winner. Think about all the things he's done to California in general. People are all moving out of there. The state's in more debt than you can imagine. All the fraud in California, the crime. He's got nothing to run on. He's got nothing. So there's no one else to run. They don't have anybody. They were talking about Ocasio-Cortez as an option. Think about that. It's crazy. Maybe Hakeem Jeffries is a guy that can maybe run. But the whole party is, it's a bought and paid for, it's like a cult. It's a bought and paid for cult. What I mean by that is the leader, Nancy Pelosi, is just making sure everyone just falls in line and does what they're supposed to do. Because if you really wanted the presidency, you had RFK. He's a Democrat. He would have won. You kicked him out of the party. You had Tulsi Gabbard. Kicked her out of the party. Hillary Clinton called her a Russian spy. Person smart. She's got everything it takes, in my opinion, to be the first female president. It shouldn't go to Kamala Harris. She's not smart enough. It shouldn't go to Hillary Clinton. It should go to somebody that can handle the job. And I think down the road, Tulsi Gabbard might be somebody that can handle the job. Now, do I want her to be president? I have to dig more deep into her views and all that. And she's not running for president, so that's yet to be seen. But as a person, she's strong. But that's my take. I think Kamala's just got to go away. It's just a waste of time. I mean, she keeps getting in front of the camera. It's good TV time. It's funny to watch, but she's got to hang up the towel. We'll be back.
A possible biological lab inside a Las Vegas home, now under investigation. A federal investigation. Agents seizing vials of unknown liquids and probing a potential link to a Chinese national accused of running a similar lab in California that held deadly pathogens. Our senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse is reporting live on this out of Los Angeles for us. Hello, William.
Well, Sandra, two amazing things about this story. One, the man who owns that Vegas lab, he's a Chinese scientist linked to the CCP, is and has been in jail the last 3 years. Secondly, the lab is not an FDA licensed facility, but it's in a house in Vegas, raided Saturday morning by the FBI, SWAT pulling out boxes of what police believe are hazardous biological agents and pathogens, normally found in a secure university or industrial lab with airlocks designed to prevent an outbreak.
Almost immediately, investigators observed multiple refrigerators, a freezer, and other laboratory-type equipment, along with numerous bottles and jugs containing unknown liquid substances.
So the Vegas lab, according to police, belongs to 62-year-old Zhu Baiju, a Chinese national and a fugitive who also goes by the alias David He. He was arrested in 2023 for manufacturing unlicensed medical devices and lying about unapproved HIV and pregnancy test kits that he was selling. He also operated this illicit biolab in an abandoned warehouse in Reedley, California, where investigators found thousands of vials of blood and tissue, 1,000 genetically engineered mice designed to carry the COVID virus, and CDC tests did show the vials contained HIV, COVID, hepatitis, herpes, and malaria. Police arrested Zhu, and he's been in jail ever since. Congressional investigators link the lab to the Chinese Communist Party, a tie that also suggests the same people are behind the Vegas lab.
What do we think these people were doing with those substances in the house? And I'll tell you, the truth is we don't know yet.
So House investigators say Zhu got financing from mainland China to create dozens of companies.
You saw that segment. Pretty interesting. There's Chinese people here running illegal laboratories out of like houses. One in Vegas, they just caught. One in California, they caught before with COVID and rats and blood tests. And like, think about that. Think about if the cops came to my house and there was like a vial with COVID in it and a rat, frickin' vials around with blood. They'd be like, what's this guy up to? These people are from China. Open your eyes. COVID didn't come from a wet market with a bat. A fucking rat. We know where it came from. Yeah, it's just... It surprises me to an extent, but at the same time, nothing really surprises me anymore. But I'm glad they arrested these people. It's a shame, actually. But they should really investigate why this person was here, who paid for him to be here, did anybody in the United States have anything to do with it, or was it strictly China that was paying for him to be here, funding the laboratory or funding the testing, all that stuff. That needs to be done. It's a little odd to have somebody from China testing rats for COVID and blood vials think about it. So they got to get a handle on this, and they really got to investigate this. I want to see how far this goes down the tunnel of where did this come from. I don't want to hear this guy was arrested and this guy was arrested. I want to hear the bigger scheme. Like, why would this guy was the guy that got caught? Other thing you want to cover is it's not a real name. It's the Nick Shirley Act. Fraud Act, whatever.
The author of this bill, which is California Assembly Bill 2624, is Democratic Assemblywoman Mia Bonta. And if her last name sounds familiar, it is. In fact, her husband is the Attorney General of California, Rob Bonta. So Republicans have nicknamed this bill the Stop Nick Shirley Act, and it aims to, quote, protect the privacy and stop the harassment of those who provide services to immigrants. It would put into place restrictions around recording and posting content, including names and workplace or home addresses of those who work for these taxpayer-funded organizations. Anyone who posts these videos or photo could be subject to a $10,000 fine, jail time, and even forced to take the content down. But critics are raising concerns about how far those limits could go. Nick Shirley, who built a large online following investigative alleged fraud, says the bill could end up criminalizing investigative journalism.
For instance, if this bill is passed, the Quality Leering Center that was in Minnesota would be protected from being exposed. That is absolutely crazy.
So Assemblywoman Mia Bonta says this is about protecting privacy and preventing harassment and doxing for the workers who work at these taxpayer-funded organizations who, again, provide services to immigrants. She says it's not about shutting down legitimate reporting.
Individuals who were investigating were journalists. This bill it ensures that we protect lawful free speech and opportunity for criticism.
California Democrat politicians not only won't do anything about the fraud, but they're going after the people who are trying to uncover these crimes and the waste of taxpayer money. It is shameful, and all of these politicians ought to be called on the carpet.
But California is scared. I mean, this kid has uncovered a lot of shit. People are like scared. Politicians, and Newsom for sure is terrified. All the autism centers, JD Vance is on it. And they're just getting out ahead of it and going, because Nick Shirley's not the only independent journalist. So you got Savannah Hernandez, you got James O'Keefe, but I don't know how they're independent journalists. They have their own business. I can go do independent journalism. Like I have my own company, I can do it. Like go out there with the microphone and get fraud and all that. But what they're saying is I'm an independent journalist, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'm not. Nick Shirley is an independent journalist. Savannah Hernandez isn't, I guess, not an independent. She works for somebody else. It's such a cloudy thing, but what they're doing is trying to scare people from doing what Nick Shirley does. And the question I have to ask is why? Why are you trying to scare people from finding fraud? Because they're hiding it. That's the reason. They don't want any more attention on this. They know what they've been doing. They know the millions and billions of dollars have been flowing out, for healthcare and autism and all that stuff. Voter fraud. I mean, it's all being covered. I mean, it's all being proven. James O'Keefe got arrested, but it wasn't for the voter fraud investigation. It was for something else, a different investigation. It was like somebody that he was investigating, I guess, this is what I read, was stalking, charged him with stalking or something, but it was like a restraining order. So that's what he was arrested for, but it had nothing to do with the LA. Guy almost died in LA. People were trying to kill him there. There's video of it. And there's other independent journalists. There's like 5 or 6 of them that were in LA just doing the voter fraud, let alone the autism. And there's so many people. I've seen so many videos, and they all check out. They all check out. Are there fake videos out there? Of course. But these check out. And that's why they're scared. That's why they're going to try to pass this act. And then what they do, they try to say it's protecting the illegal immigrants and protecting the welfare workers from being on camera. It's like a sugarcoating thing. It's like, no, how about we just find the fraud and get rid of it? How about this? Why don't we just elect a governor in California that can make California the most beautiful state in the United States, because it is. That's what we need to do. But that's a power grab for them, and they don't want that. So let's try to pass a law that'll fine a guy like Nick Shirley or a guy like, call it James O'Keefe. He's got his own company. I don't even know how they can find these people. Independent journalist that goes to the autism centers and says there's 100 in here and no one's working there. And they got, I'm just making numbers up, they got $50 million in 2025. Someone should look into this DOJ. I'm like, DOJ should go, hey, we look into it. Your video's fake. Those are all operating businesses. But that's not happening. The DOJ is not coming back saying these are real businesses. They're not. So California's going, let's just stop this now. Let's scare another kid that's like Nick Shirley that wants to go out there and do a video and show fraud. They're just clamping it down. You can get fined by this much. This bill might pass. So I think it got through one legislation. It's got one more to go. Keep your eyes open for that. And this should not pass. If you're in California and you like this passes, you should be pissed because you're the one paying the taxes. Look at the amount of money that California's lost from investors leaving, businesses leaving, jobs. It's a lot. The American dream was living in Los Angeles, Chicago, New York. No one wants to live there. They're all leaving. Look at the charts. The amount of exited wealth and money that's just left in the last 2 years, 3 years. And that brings jobs with it. So just keep your eye on this. And I know this. Gavin Newsom's done. He's not running for presidency. He's not, no chance. He knows it. We got to get a new governor in there that's going to clean it up and just give somebody a shot. See what happens. Hold them accountable, though. Whatever Republican gets in there, hold them accountable. Make sure that they, do what they say. And if they can't do what they say, they have to give a reason of why they can't do what they say. That's it. So I want to talk about Noah Schultz's debut at Chicago White Sox to start the sports segment here. This kid's going to be electric. There's no doubt about it. Left-handed, sweeping slider, throws a little 12-6 curveball, throws high 90s, he could probably touch 100, I'm sure. Local kid from Oswego, probably a Sox fan if I had to guess from where he grew up. He was fun to watch. He gave up some runs. He was getting pinched on some pitches. Minor leagues are probably calling those strikes. But he had a rough start in the minors, so he is definitely on an upswing here. So when we first got in low A ball, and rookie ball, he was losing games. And then he got his command in the minors and started moving up the ranks. And now here he is with the White Sox, 22 years old. He's going to be a stud. The gripe I have is me being a Chicago fan. So obviously I'm a Cubs fan. I root for the Sox if, they're winning. And, I grew up not watching the two teams compete against each other. And once they did, I obviously leaned heavily towards the Cubs. But I have respect for the Sox. I like a lot of the old players. I was able to go in the locker room when I was a kid. Bunch of times. I knew one of the White Sox players, Tim Raines. I knew his son when I was growing up. So I got a different experience with the White Sox. I got to see the team growing up. And watching this kid, I tuned in. I'm a Cubs fan. I tuned in to watch him pitch. I looked at the crowd. There's nobody there. Empty. For a 6'9" left-hander that could be the face of the team and one of the juggernauts in the league, but nobody was there. And you got to look at this aspect. If he started for the Cubs on ESPN baseball, that's huge for the league. And you look at the White Sox, I went over the numbers of like who's worth what. And the White Sox are like up there with like $2.1 billion if you wanted to buy them. I think they're 17th. It was my past episode, but they're up there because the potential of a market like Chicago for any investor, it's a no-brainer. I don't know what's going on with this team. Why can't they get fans in the seats? We have an idea why. The stadium sucks. The neighborhood sucks. And honestly, the mayor sucks of Chicago. He's terrible. People don't want to venture there. They just don't. It's a shame. This kid was, he didn't pitch well, but he's electric. You can tell. He's going to be a good one. I don't know how well he's going to do with this White Sox offense. I don't think anybody's hitting over 200 this year. Their best players got 250 homers. The Southside Samurai, I'm going to get in trouble for saying that. No, but he's one of their better players. But it's doom and gloom going to a White Sox game. And looking at the empty seats, it's not fun to watch that. It's not good. So they got to move the stadium. They got to move the team. They got to do something soon, fast. If I had $500 million, I don't know if that's enough, but I'd have a great investment. I would buy the White Sox in a second, turn that team around, because the market of Chicago is huge. So many people will go to White Sox games if you make it worth their while, make it worth their time, make them feel safe coming to the stadium and all that. They have the best street corn around. If anyone's been there, that's about all I look forward to getting when I go to a White Sox game is a street corn. But all that being said, Noah Schultz, he's going to be a stud. My only fear is that he sticks on the White Sox too long and he loses a bunch of games because no one can score runs for him. And you put that guy on the Dodgers, you put him on the Cubs, you put him on the Yankees, you put him on the Phillies, you put him on, a bunch of teams, the Astros, teams that want to win. And that kid's going to be a stud. Probably take him 6 to 7 starts. But I don't know what it's going to do with his mental morale being on the White Sox. It's getting beat down every night. Even if the kid throws great, I don't see the White Sox putting up a ton of runs for him. And a rookie coming in the league doesn't need that extra pressure of having to be perfect to win games. No pitcher wants that, especially a rookie with that type of talent. But I'm going to get to the Redskins in a second. I'm going to play a clip of this new promotional video of the Washington Redskins, the Commanders, put out, throwing a little spear on the helmet, throwing a little idea out there, testing the waters. Roll the clip of the Washington Redskins Commanders new video.
He's going to go all the way. That's it. It's all over. He's gone. He's gone. The burgundy and gold figure to be a force to reckon with.
Talk about this Washington Redskins teaser with the spear through the W. Just change the name back. Don't screw around with this test the waters shit. Everybody wants the Redskins. Nobody cares about the Commanders. If you drop the name, it'll be over in like 24 hours. There'll be nobody griping about it. There's always going to be people that gripe. 24 hours will be gone. You got the name back. You got the pigs, the Redskins. You got the people dressing up in the stands. Do it. I don't know what you're waiting for. You don't need to test the waters. Everybody wants the Redskins back. Don't put the little spear on the helmet. Just go the whole 9 yards. Nobody cares. And I'll have to say, I'll go one step further. Cleveland Indians. Go back to the Indians. Dump the Guardians. Do it while you can. You made a little mistake changing. Nobody cares. Everyone would love to have the Indians back. You got great baseball movies with the Indians. I'm a Cubs fan. You got the 2016 World Series, the Indians. Go back to the old name. Save face now while it's too late. But my opinion on it is I'll never call the Redskins the Commanders. I won't do it. I'll never call the Guardians. They're the Indians to me. It's kind of like nowadays when someone can identify as a cat or a dog, you have to look at them and say, you know, you're a dog. I can never do that. I just can't. So equivalent that to the Indians, to the Guardians, to the Redskins, to the Commanders. Not doing it. One thing I'll say, and I'll give kudos to, is the Chicago Blackhawks. One of the greatest logos in all of sports, by far. They didn't, bow their heads to the pressure. They stood strong and said, no, we're not changing the name. It's the greatest logo in all of sports. The Chicago Blackhawks. They came for them. They said, no, you got to get rid of that name. And they stayed firm. I feel like the Commanders and the Guardians are starting to dabble around a little bit. Redskins are starting to throw the spear on the helmet. Son, test the waters. Just go for it. Do it. It's one of the greatest football logos of all time. Cleveland Indians have one of the greatest baseball logos of all time. Major League, all the movies. You're just missing out. Dumbest move ever in sports. Save face now. Go back to the Indians. Redskins, I give you a little kudos for testing the waters with the spear on the helmet, putting that social media video out. But you got to go the whole 9 yards. You got to take it all the way back. Don't mess around at this point. Just go all in. And kudos to the Blackhawks for never, ever giving in. We'll be back with our next segment.
The Wily Wire segment where Brandon asks, what the fuck is this?
Obviously a good offense. Then they have really good defenders out there as well, so they're well balanced. They're obviously top of the East for a reason. They're a good team, playoff team. But yeah, really good roster.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever watched. I thought it was like a joke. The dude had like a wolf suit on. Like the fur all over his mouth. Wet fur all over your suit. Talking, like sitting up there like an Eskimo. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. If that dude walked into the locker room with Jordan or Kobe on the team, he might have quit the game. He might have quit. And he's an awesome player. Great player. Old school. I like, nah, man. Can't do that. Someone's got to tell him not to do that. I mean, I don't know. Like, I almost think somebody told him to do that. Someone told him to wear that. Someone's fucking with him. For real. Like, you got to have someone in your ear telling you it looks good. Come on, it looks good. Wear that. Put the fluff in your mouth when you're talking in an interview. It's good. Somebody's got to be telling him, because there's no way he came up with that idea himself. There's no way. Imagine putting that on. It's like a mascot uniform. It's like Benny the Bull. Benny the Bull for the Bulls. You just put, ooh. Then you go to the interview? Seriously? Nobody told him not to do that. He had to be like one of his teammates like, yo, man, don't do that. Like, I know you're the MVP and all, but won a championship. I can't anymore. What a weird, weird thing that was. Next thing I want to talk about, this got me laughing. So there's this guy, he went to the TSA. He didn't bring a bag. He put all his clothes on, like everything he had. Like, I'm in Vegas right now. I'll probably show a little background. It's just too light out right now. I can't. The lighting is terrible in here. But thanks to the team for hooking me up, setting me up with the lighting and all that. But can't open the curtains. But this guy went to the TSA with all his stuff on. 10 shirts, a sweatshirt. You got to see this. But this guy put everything on. Pants, like, and like TSA was like, all right, this definitely is something. We gotta look at this guy. He's got 1,000 shirts on. He's got 20 pairs of pants. I mean, something's got to be hiding in there. But he just didn't want to pay the bag fee. He just like, know what? I'm just gonna go through. I'm gonna wear everything and then bring it there. I don't know what the guy was doing, but I'll put the picture up right now. Absolutely hilarious. That's another WTF. But the last one, I'll end with this. I'm from Chicago. Listen to me in this podcast. Know I'm from Chicago. I've said it probably 1,000 times. The rent-a-scooters, you know, you get to the thing, you get in with the scooter, you put the money in, you drive around the city and get hit by a car. These things go like 25 miles an hour, maybe, tops. This girl or guy, I couldn't tell. Looked like they had some like dressy pants on, maybe. I don't know. The butt crack was showing in the video. They were driving on the 90 expressway in Chicago, downtown, on one of these rent-a-scooter. Electric scooter, Divvy scooter, I don't know, the Divvy bikes, but this is the type of shit I'm talking about. It's going on. Like, people are like, I'll go over comments of the next episode, but people are like, they didn't have cell phones 20 years ago. No, didn't matter. Then they had cell phones 20 years ago. But at the same time, people didn't do this shit 20 years ago. I'm telling you, they didn't. I lived in the city. No one jumped on the back of the L train with the ropes, hanging at the ropes on the electric rail, could die. No one did that shit. Going on an L train, people are laying all over the place. Well, I'm like dead on the L train. They're alive, but they look dead. There's people, I wouldn't go on an L train if you paid me enough money to buy the White Sox. I go on the L train. That's about it. That's my number. But other than that, this person was on the Kennedy Expressway, just riding around like, this is not, people aren't right, man. There's people that are wrong in the head. No doubt about it. And this person, I don't know if it's a guy, if it's a girl, who cares anymore, you know, whatever, a dog or a cat, I don't know. That's dangerous. Are you nuts? Like, there's no explanation. It's not like, I took a wrong turn. I went down. No. You didn't take a wrong turn. You literally went on the expressway to drive around in an electric scooter that you probably rented. I'm not sure. They rent these in Chicago all over. Most major cities have them. And these people took the video. Unbelievable. I hate using the term, you can't make this stuff up anymore, but I don't know what you can't make anything up anymore. Like anything that someone tells me now, I believe them. Like, oh yeah. Is it AI? Check it. That's real, man. Everything right now is nuts. People do the stupidest shit ever. I just can't. It makes for fun reels and all that stuff, but at the same time, like I'd rather not do any reels of people doing stupid shit, especially that, because I'm not here for clicks and likes and all that. Those are great. They help with advertisers, but at the same time, I don't want to be dying on the expressway, hanging off a train, or driving a scooter. People are going 75 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. You're driving a electric scooter? What if the tire pops off? Unbelievable.
This man ain't never ride this scooter on the expressway. He going about 40 miles an hour. She's tweaking. What is that, a lady? She tweaking. Oh, that's no.
That's a wrap of episode 27, our first outside of the studio. We'll be back on Tuesday in our normal studio, normal scheduled broadcast in beautiful South Carolina. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying wired. Follow us, like us, share us. It always helps. And we'll see you next time.
The Wiley Wire dives into sports, music, politics, health, and trending topics for entertainment, info, and education. Listener discretion advised. May include mature themes, explicit language, controversial views, or sensitive content. Not suitable for under 18 or all audiences. Parents, please supervise. All opinions from hosts, guests, and contributors are personal and don't reflect our official views. Information isn't guaranteed to be accurate. Do your own research and consult qualified professionals.